Hey everybody, it's Grandmaster Finegold here. Now, one of my favorite world chess champions is Mikhail Tal, and he was world chess champion in the early 1960s, like 1960, 1961, and he was considered by a lot of people one of the top 10 players of all time. And the reason we like Tal is he played really aggressive, sacrificial, checkmating kind of chess. Really fun to watch. Now, this is actually my favorite Tal game, even though his opponent was an amateur. This wasn't played in a slow chess tournament under normal conditions. This was played in a simultaneous exhibition where Tal plays a lot of people at once, walking from board to board. Maybe you've seen that before. I've done that. And his opponents aren't as strong as he is. Okay, really exciting game. Let's have a look. It was a Sicilian. And not only was it a Sicilian, it was probably the most exciting variation of the Sicilian dragon. Okay, and that's an open Sicilian where white plays d4. And now you can see white's knight's in the center. This knight can move. The bishops can move. White's ready to go. Knight f6, attacking this pawn. Knight c3, defending the pawn. And then g6, that's the starting move of the dragon Sicilian. Black fianchettos his bishop on this long diagonal and castles. And often, white castles queen side, black castles king side, and they try to checkmate each other. So it's a lot of fun for us, the spectator. And Tal, of course, being a great attacking player, that's exactly what he's going to do. So he plays his bishop and his queen out, and that way he can castle queen side. Then when black castles king side, opposite side castling, we can try both play for checkmate. Okay, now if you're a grandmaster today and you have the black pieces, you're going to castle, and there's a lot of grandmaster positions over the last 60 years that had this position. It's a very common position. Okay, but his opponent, who was an amateur player, he didn't castle. And when you don't castle, you get in trouble. He played queen a5, getting his queen into the attack instead of getting his king safe. And Tal played king b1, so he has extra defense for this pawn. And also, when he moves this knight away, you see how the queens are attacking each other? He doesn't want black to play queen takes queen check. So he moves his king away, so it's not check. So the king on b1 is safer. Black plays rook c8. He still doesn't castle. If I say he still doesn't castle every move, I'm going to say it a lot. Okay, and Tal goes for the attack. g4, roar. And now black makes a bad move. Instead of continuing his attack with his pieces against the white king, or castling, which he should do, he plays h6. That doesn't slow down white. White just plays h4. So white's attacking, and black isn't really attacking yet. Okay, and now black makes a really slow move. A normal move here would be knight e5, opening up the rook, and maybe the knight can come into c4, and the knight's in the center. But instead he played a6. Again, black is an amateur, so let's be nice. Bishop e2, Tal gets all of his minor pieces out before the checkmate. And actually, the reason for this move isn't to get the bishop out so much as to connect his rooks. Now his rooks are connected, they're protecting each other. Black's rooks are not connected because black didn't castle. And now, if this rook ever takes this rook, then we could just take back. So the rooks are defending each other, that's good. Knight e5, reasonable move. White plays g5 attacking. He attacks first. They trade pawns on g5. Now we're threatening the knight. And this was an amazing part of the game. The best move for black is to move his knight. And I tell my students, when somebody attacks one of your pieces, move it away. People don't want to move it away because they think it shows weakness. Like, you can attack me, but I'm not moving away. I'm staying right here. That's a risky strategy. So what black should do is put his knight on h5. The computer says white has a good position, but the game goes on. Instead, black made the losing move. It's only losing because Tal was a brilliant world champion. It wouldn't be losing against a normal person, but Tal was just great. And black played rook takes h1, the rook, expecting white to just take back. Take my rook, I take your rook. But Tal started calculating now. He was looking ahead. And he said, wait a minute. Instead of taking the rook, I'm going to take the knight. Okay? And if he lets me, then I'll take the rook next move. But I got that free knight. And black is like, what are you doing? I took your rook. Now I'm taking your other rook. Are you crazy? Why are you giving all your rooks away? Okay? And Tal wasn't crazy. He was crazy like a fox. He played knight takes rook, and now white has two threats. Obviously, white's threatening the queen, as we discussed earlier. Those queens maybe will take each other. And he's threatening to take this bishop. Well, what's more valuable, a bishop or a queen? Obviously a queen. So black played queen takes queen. Again, expecting Tal to recapture. Tal will take the queen, black will take the pawn, and black has a good position. But Tal tricked him again. He didn't take the queen, he took the bishop. This is an amazing move because now white is down a queen, but black's position is hopeless. How can that be? Well, this pawn is going to promote to a queen, which, by the way, in this position would be checkmate, and there's nothing black can do about it. Nothing. No move that black makes will stop this pawn from making a queen unless black just gives his queen away for nothing with check. We'll just take the queen. Then we'll queen later. What's good is this bishop defends the knight, and this knight defends this pawn. Otherwise, queen takes pawn would be really good. But we have knight takes queen then. This knight takes... Well, so if I play queen takes pawn, the knight takes the queen. If you play queen takes knight, the bishop takes the queen. And the problem is, no matter what black does, white's always going to go G8 equals queen. Now let me show you what the engine says is the best for black. In this position, black chose to give up. Let's say black didn't give up and played perfect and played the best moves. The chess engine says we should go here so our king can escape. And then when he makes a queen, we escape. Okay, looks good. Now, white can just start taking everything. White can take the rook, check, and then white takes the queen. And if you're good at counting, you'll notice that white has all of his minor pieces and black only has two of them. White's up 2 pieces against world champion Grandmaster Mikhail Tal. So instead of being down 2 pieces for nothing, black just gave up. But that was amazing that Mikhail Tal, he sacrificed his rook, he sacrificed his queen, but now this pawn was unstoppable. That pawn on the 7th rank is going to promote to a queen. It's unusual in the opening and middle game that your pawn becomes a queen by promotion. Usually you have to wait till the end game to do that. That's why this was an amazing game. And the most amazing part was Mikhail Tal was playing several people at once. This wasn't the only game he was playing. He was walking from board to board, and he still sacrificed his rook and his queen and forced his opponent to give up. Just an amazing player, an amazing world champion. We expect no less from Mikhail Tal. Well, that was a great game, great sacrificing. Maybe someday one of the losing players in our lectures will castle. You think that'll ever happen? These guys don't castle, then they get punished. This is Ben Finegold for Kid Chess. Bye, everybody.